Hi, I'm Suzanne Goulden and I'm an intentional living consultant. Today I'm actually going to be talking about, with my theme of intentional relationships, the kind of what happens when we have an older generation that is aging and they have collected so many things over decades of time in their homes. And then when they pass on or go into a nursing home and their children, adult children, are kind of left to sort through so many belongings and how stressful that can be. And I just wanted to talk about maybe that there's an alternate idea so that somebody isn't left to be doing this on their own, or to have, the younger generation, if we can get the actual owners of those items to be working with them before it comes time where they're not able to. The baby boomer generation is a generation of excess. They grew up at a time when their parents had just come out of the Depression of the 30s and dealing with the hardship of the war and the kind of rebuilding after the war was done. And then there came a time when they were able to start having money and start buying things and owning things that they hadn't had in their childhood, that their parents hadn't been able to do for them. And so they really became a generation of excess. They were able to have, multiple sets of dishes. You had your china, and you had your everyday plates, and you had your Christmas set, and you had multiple sets of glassware and crystal, and you had your everyday cutlery and your good silver that you pulled out for company. There was so much duplication because they were able to, it was something that their older generation was not able to experience. And so they just kept everything because they could. And as they collected stuff, and then as they started having kids, and then our generation comes along, and we have somewhat less interest in owning as much stuff. Or we look around their home and think, oh my gosh, they have so much stuff. What's going to happen when they pass on or need to downsize? What is going to happen with all this stuff? I really got thinking about this a while ago. I read an article about a man whose father had passed away, and his mother had gone into a nursing home shortly thereafter, and he and his spouse had, at the time that the article was written, had spent 9 months cleaning out his parents' home every weekend for 9 months. And at the time the article was written, they figured they were only about halfway through. And that really got me thinking, and it raised a lot of questions for me, like, how is their marriage after all that time of spending every weekend cleaning out somebody else's home? How are they making the decisions on those belongings? I have lots of questions about that, because I can't see a way that it should take 9 months to clean out a home. So I'm not too sure how they were making decisions on what they were clearing out. And, I feel like perhaps that they were candidates to have somebody go in and give them a hand with that. But also, the most important question that crossed my mind was, is this what his parents really wanted for him? Is this what, our parents really want for us? Is this what you would want for your children? Would you want them to have to spend so much time sorting through your belongings? And I just feel like the answer to that really is no. That's not what we wish for our children. It's our belongings. It's their belongings, and people should be taking care of your own property. So I wanted to suggest an idea here that might help with this situation, and that is to give while you live. And that means starting to go through, or maybe having that, might be a difficult or uncomfortable conversation to have with your aging parents. But, is it time to start going through their belongings while they're still alive, start giving away the items that are really important to them, or asking family members and loved ones if they're interested in certain items from that home, might be home of their parents, home of the grandparents, and sometimes you might be surprised at what items people are attached to. It might not be the really expensive thing that you would think, or the heirloom item. It might be something really what would be considered insignificant, but for some reason there's a very, cherished memory attached to it that somebody wants. And this can really create a great opportunity for conversations and fun memories. You can even create memories going through this process. I just think it's really something to consider that, for the older generation, that you get to enjoy, seeing people take joy in your items, that you gifted to them. And it's also very important to understand that, especially when you go into even the younger generations, I find the millennials and even the Gen Zers, that lots of stuff doesn't interest them. Duplicates of stuff doesn't interest them, and that's a good thing. We are learning that we need less stuff and that we can lighten our loads, and this is a really great thing. But sometimes when you're dealing with a home that is full of lots and lots of stuff, and lots of stuff in storage and in boxes, that, sometimes you might want somebody to take that heirloom item or that special item, or, nobody has interest in it. We kind of came across that with a set of crystal. Nobody's interested in the crystal, and unfortunately, it's not even worth that much value right now because there's just so little interest in it. Whereas back in the 70s, 80s, there was absolutely, crystal was a huge thing and very, very expensive thing to collect. And here, so many years later, nobody's interested. So, that can be really difficult kind of reality to face, is that, people don't necessarily want. But when you're going through this process of giving your items while you're still alive, it has to be done with no strings attached. That's really, really important. There can't be expectations or guilt trips or, making people feel bad, because that's not building relationship. You want this to be a positive experience for both the person giving the items away and also for the person receiving the items. And it would just be really great if we could get people on board with this idea of starting to clear out your stuff while you're still alive. It makes it much easier if the person that owns the items are the decision makers, rather than leaving it to the younger generations to deal with at a later time. So this is something I just really like to have you think about and see if it's something that fits into your life, something that fits into, a plan that could work. Maybe, especially when it comes to downsizing and this, it can be really make you feel good knowing that your items are going to people that appreciate them. And even if it's not loved ones, if you start donating those items, they're going to get picked up by people that really do treasure them. People are going to be excited to find new things, things they haven't seen in a while. And your items do live on, even though they might not be in your home, they might not be with, necessarily people in your family, but they will go on. They will live on and continue on with others. And sometimes when you think of it that way, it can be a really heartwarming experience to know that someone else is going to appreciate the items that you are ready to part with. And I'm not saying you're emptying your whole house. I'm not saying you're getting rid of everything. I'm just saying if you have a lot of stuff, it's really beneficial to start going through it while you're still able to make some decisions on it, right? Just take a quick look at my notes there, make sure I covered everything I wanted to cover. I think I have. So anyway, if you have any questions about this idea, or you are having issues with kind of the thought process around it, this is kind of a quick overview. Obviously, once you get into dealing with items, you're looking at things very specifically, and you might, be struggling with how to think of things, or, the mindset around parting with your stuff. And completely, please feel free, reach out to me, go through my website, comment. You can contact me, depending on where you're watching this video. You can DM me directly, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about putting a plan together to, help, especially when some of the projects are pretty big. You might want to discuss kind of a plan on where to start, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. So feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.